We are live in 3, 2, 1.
Understand what the potential risk is and what we can do to help prevent the spread of this coronavirus.
Coronavirus is sweeping store shelves, and recent remarks from Governor Herbert on what Utah should do to prepare.
Erin Mendenhall gave her State of the City address as the new Salt Lake City mayor.
I cannot think of a better way to end my campaign than joining his.
Super Tuesday is today, and the polls are now open.
Welcome to Newsline. It's Tuesday, March 3rd, 2020. I'm Sierra Phipps.
And I'm Emma Benson. It's Super Tuesday, and here in Utah and in 13 other states and a territory, people are heading to the polls.
Roughly a third of all pledged delegates are up for grabs, and it could determine a clear leader for the Democratic presidential nomination. John Lawrence reports.
It's the most important day of the 2020 presidential campaign thus far. On Super Tuesday, contests are held in 14 states and American Samoa. Joe Biden heads into the day coming off a big weekend win in South Carolina.
Get up! Let's take back this country. We're the United States of America, and there's not a single thing we cannot do if we do it together.
On Monday, the former vice president got endorsements from former candidates Pete Buttigieg, Beto O'Rourke, and Amy Klobuchar.
I cannot think of a better way to end my campaign than joining his.
Senator Elizabeth Warren spent Monday in the delegate-rich state of California.
This is about both beating Donald Trump and about delivering real change in January 2021.
Former New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg says being president requires a manager and executive.
I can beat Donald Trump, and I don't know that any of the other Democratic candidates can. And two, that I am ready for the job, and I don't think any of the others are.
As for the current frontrunner,
it looks like St. Paul is ready for a political revolution. We are running the strongest grassroots campaign any candidate has run in the modern history of America.
Senator Bernie Sanders starts Super Tuesday with more delegates than Biden. I'm John Lawrence reporting.
The polls have been open for 5 hours, and there's still time to vote.
Alessandra Harris joins us now. Alessandra?
There's still time to turn in your ballots. The polls opened at 7 this morning and don't close until 8 p.m. tonight. This Super Tuesday carries a lot of questions with the latest departures of Buttigieg and Klobuchar. If you have already turned in your mail-in ballot and you voted for one of these candidates, you are not allowed to get a new ballot. Even though the candidates dropped out, they will still get your vote in Utah's final tally, and they will receive any delegates they might end up qualifying for. With Buttigieg and Klobuchar both endorsing Biden, their delegates are expected to vote for Biden as well. But this is not a guarantee that the delegates will vote for who their candidate endorses. The delegates can act like a superdelegate and vote for anyone they choose. If you did not get a ballot in the mail, it's not too late to vote. Go to vote.utah.gov and it has answers to a lot of your questions. If you're looking for where and how you can vote, you can go here, type in your address, your city, and your zip code, and it'll direct you to where the nearest voting station is. Also, if you want to learn more about the candidates and issues and register or vote to update your registration, this is where you can go. This is one of the largest Super Tuesdays we've ever had. Some big states voting along with Utah include Texas, California, Massachusetts, and Virginia. All these votes add up to 1,357 delegates, nearly a third of the total pledged delegates. Because of the impact today's votes will have on the Democratic primary election, Super Tuesday has been trending on Twitter with hundreds of thousands of users posting who they're voting for and why. Even with the looming number of delegates at stake, don't forget that your vote matters.
Utah now has a coronavirus task force, and Lieutenant Governor Spencer Cox will lead the team. Newsline reporter Sierra Isasaga was in Salt Lake for the announcement and has more on the task force and plan in case of a coronavirus outbreak in the state.
On Monday, state leaders met at the state capitol to discuss plans for the coronavirus. A task force wants a plan in place to deal with an outbreak if one happens in Utah. The task force would also be in charge of informing the public about the status of the disease in the Beehive State.
As the governor mentioned, we're beyond containment. We know that mitigation is what is going to be important moving forward.
The task force has a plan to minimize the spread of COVID-19 by identifying anyone who might have it and, if needed, by establishing some distancing social measures.
And as a state, we can also expect potentially some social distancing measures moving forward, such as stopping mass gatherings, potentially school closures, not going to church on the weekend.
It seems the days of downplaying the coronavirus are long gone.
We can definitely expect community spread of COVID-19 in Utah. That is happening in other states surrounding us, and that's what we are preparing for. COVID-19 is highly communicable, but luckily the majority of illness is mild. However, there are very vulnerable populations, specifically the elderly and those with other medical conditions.
Luckily, there are a lot of things people can do in preparation for the coronavirus.
I think the one takeaway that we would give right now is every organization, every business, every church, every family needs to talk about their own plan.
The plan should outline what a family might do if they had to spend 14 days in quarantine, or what a company would do if half their employees couldn't come in for 2 weeks. The task force plans to create a website as well as social media campaign on Facebook and Twitter to provide a trusted source of information in regards to the coronavirus. For NewsLine, I'm Sierra Sasaga.
The U.S. Department of Homeland Security is advising people to stock up on water, food, medication, and to get copies of health records, just in case the spread of the coronavirus gets worse. NewsLine reporter Bon Lee is live in Provo. Bon, has there been a rush at stores to stock up?
Yes, fear of the coronavirus outbreak has people flocking to the stores to stock up on supplies, and now several stores have bare shelves.
Ever since the U.S. Department of Homeland Security urged citizens to store at least 2 weeks' supply of food and water, grocery stores struggle to keep up with the demand. Alexander Mendoza said that he could see water shortage wherever he went as he shopped with his parents to prepare for the coronavirus outbreak.
Right now, there's not much water in stores, so you gotta go quick. Same with the toilet paper, you gotta go fast.
Even with the shortage of supplies, the Mendozas stocked up on everything they could find that's not perishable.
So we're getting toilet paper, water, and food that won't expire as quick as other foods. Because if we're gonna stay inside a long time, we need these supplies.
Many other shoppers did not prepare as well as the Mendozas did. Chalian Park, a BYU student, said that he didn't know about the announcement from the USDHS that he should buy more food to prepare.
Ooh, something that lasts for a while. I don't know, pancake mix? Kodiak cakes? I don't know. I can live off of those.
The problem with preparing for the coronavirus is that families are hitting the local grocery stores to prepare for it, but many college students are not even aware of the advisory. Provo is densely populated with college students, so it will be interesting to see how things will turn out when the coronavirus hits Utah.
Many people are stocking up on hand sanitizer, latex gloves, and masks to try and prevent the spread of the virus. I'm Bon Lee reporting live in Provo for Newsline.
Thanks, Bon.
A Twila couple is back together again after being separated for weeks due to the COVID-19 coronavirus outbreak. John and Melanie Herring were among the passengers who were quarantined for weeks on the Diamond Princess cruise ship near Japan. John tested positive for COVID-19 but was able to return home first after he tested negative several times. Melanie was not able to return home until weeks later. In a Facebook post, Melanie says they are exactly where they need to be. The couple plans on doing a self-imposed quarantine for another 30 days.
The final vote for the controversial Olympia Hills development is happening in 4 hours, and the County Council is expected to approve the project. Olympia Hills is a 933-acre potential neighborhood development in the southwestern Salt Lake Valley near Harriman. There is significant opposition to the project. Many Harriman residents and U.S. Representative and former Salt Lake County Mayor Ben McAdams. The first version of the proposal was voted on and vetoed by McAdams in 2018.
Recently sworn in, Mayor Erin Mendenhall gives her first State of the City speech.
This is growth that we are going to shape, that we are going to drive.
The address was held at Meadowlark Elementary School. The mayor remarked that 69% of the school students are English learners, 70% are kids of color, and overall the students speak 23 languages. Mendenhall says those kids represent the Salt Lake City of tomorrow.
They are the future of our city. It's a city that's growing and that's changing.
Mendenhall shared her vision of growth and change. She also addressed issues such as homelessness, the inland port, and the environment. Planting trees is just one part of the new mayor's plan to help Salt Lake City grow greener. She hopes to help Salt Lake City transition to 100% renewable electricity as soon as possible.
The Utah Senate passes a proposal to ban most abortions in the state. It was approved on a party line vote after Democrats argued against the plan to make performing an abortion a felony. There are exceptions for cases of rape, incest, or serious threat to the health of the mother. The proposal now moves to the House for consideration. A Utah State Senate committee approves a bill with changes to a voter-approved initiative creating an independent voting redistricting commission. Proposition 4's initiative is aimed at curbing gerrymandering. Committee members voted unanimously for the bill, which loosens the initiative's legal restrictions on the redistricting process. A bill requiring gun show vendors and county facilities to run background checks on customers in Salt Lake County passed the Utah House of Representatives. The bill would prevent cities or counties from being able to work around the state's gun legislation. The bill will now move on to the Senate for consideration.
Division of Wildlife Resource officers are searching for poachers. Conservation officers found 6 bull elk shot and left to waste in the Nob Hill area of Park City. DWR officers say they were shot between December 20th, 2019 and January 15th, 2020. 5 of the bulls were large enough to be considered trophy size. Restitution value for each bull has a minimum of $8,000 under Utah State Code. Residents in the Glenwild area have raised $15,000 to reward anyone who provides information about the poachers. If you have any information about this suspicious activity, please contact the UTIP hotline at 1-800-662-3337.
President M. Russell Ballard visits Brigham Young University to speak to students about the strength of their generation and their divine identity.
Are and have always been a son or daughter of God.
President Ballard encouraged students to look deep in their souls and ask how they can fulfill their purpose by showing more love. He asked them not to wear themselves out by worrying about things that matter least at the expense of what matters most. President Ballard's previous BYU visit was in 2017. He was set apart as acting president of the Quorum of the 12 Apostles on January 14th, 2018.
A deadly tornado hits Tennessee late last night.
We'll tell you the damages from the tornado and how it will affect Super Tuesday.
Debris everywhere and water. It's just pouring. Fun. Let's go.
Utah has recently opened their first pharmacy with medical cannabis. We'll tell you where the pharmacy is located and how opening day went.
Qualtics X4 Summit is coming to Utah. Find out who will be attending and when it will be.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your closet. Still no jobs? Just more stuff? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed. And they're the stuff inside your stuff. Our job is to unlock those jobs. And it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
You can achieve a lot using your imagination. I mean, I don't like to brag, but... Wait, who's that? And why is she all over these achievement awards? But with STEM, the sky's the limit. Shaboom! Use STEM to envision... Okay, I'm seeing it. Yeah! Invent...
Got any ideas?
I've got a few, actually. And create a better world.
Told you she's super smart.
If she can STEM, so can you. Find out more at SheCanSTEM.
19 people are dead after a tornado rips through Tennessee overnight.
Daryl Forges is in Nashville where cleanup and recovery is underway.
There it is. Go inside now.
A deadly tornado ripped through Nashville overnight.
It sounded like gunshots going off. We heard the windows blowing in, and then we saw the water leaking through the ceiling, and we just grabbed the baby and started to pack everything up as fast as we could.
So we're running down the hallway, the ceiling is just caving in, just debris everywhere, and water is just pouring from the ceiling and like waterfalls.
Authorities have confirmed fatalities with more than 150 people injured.
It's surreal. I feel like I'm in a movie. It's just so sad.
Search and rescue teams have been deployed to try and locate anyone who may still be trapped.
We all worry about some people being left in buildings that have been damaged, and I know the first responders are working their way through that problem.
Schools in the area are closed for the week, some because of damage, some because they're being used as shelters. Polling locations in several counties have delayed Super Tuesday voting by 1 hour due to street closures and power outages. Some voters in impacted areas are being sent to alternative locations to cast ballots. In Nashville, Tennessee, I'm Daryl Forges reporting.
Interstate 80 is still closed after crashes involving more than 100 vehicles killed 3 people.
A lot of people was really bad, injured really bad, man. Thank God I'm still here.
Video of the scene and the aftermath show semi-trucks and cars damaged or destroyed in the wreckage. The Department of Transportation has closed Interstate 80 for 54 of the last 152 days. That is the highest closure rate in 4 years. The Green River, Wyoming fire chief is arrested for embezzlement. 50-year-old Michael Nomis and his wife, 46-year-old Stephanie Nomis, have been charged with felony theft and wrongful appropriation of public property. Investigators believe the couple stole $125,000 from the Green River Fire Department Foundation. The couple faces up to 11 years in prison.
A new chapter started in Utah history this week with the grand opening of the first medical cannabis pharmacy. Lauren Crowdy went to Salt Lake City for the grand opening of the new controversial pharmacy.
Here we are at Dragonfly Wellness, Utah's first marijuana pharmacy.
Utah voters approved the use of marijuana under doctor-approved conditions back in 2018. Dragonfly Wellness became the first pharmacy to open in the state.
We have a retail license, a processing license, and a cultivation license, and we're one of only 3 companies in Utah that have that, and we're locally owned and operated.
Chief Strategy Officer Nareth Pond says it took a lot of work to provide medical cannabis at a reasonable price to patients.
And for me to come back full circle now and have an opportunity to contribute back to the community and really provide relief to the patients was super huge.
Wade Laughter, a master cannabis cultivator, came to celebrate what he calls a great achievement for medical marijuana supporters in Utah.
I feel compelled to come here and to educate the population about the stigma and the fear associated with cannabis is based on propaganda and misinformation. Cannabis can do no harm.
Wade has worked with nonprofits throughout the years to help treat children with life-threatening disabilities through cannabis therapy.
And one of the reasons I really love the entity that I'm working with here in Utah is their real focus is on the well-being of their patients and having that available to them at a reasonable cost.
Dragonfly Wellness is open 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. daily. I'm Lauren Crowdy, reporting for NewsLine.
Thanks.
Qualtrics is expecting 18,000 experienced management leaders from around the world to attend their X4 Summit this next week in Salt Lake. NewsLine reporter Maren Smith tells us more about it.
The Qualtrics X4 Experience Management Summit will include keynote speakers, breakthrough sessions, and experiential activities for thousands of attendees from around the world. Ellen DeGeneres, former First Lady Michelle Obama, and actor Matthew McConaughey are just a few of the famous keynote speakers who will be participating in the X4 Summit. Those who attend the conference will learn from founders, CEOs, and top managers from companies like Nike, ESPN, American Express, and Google. Night activities and entertainment will also be provided. A warehouse party with skateboarder Tony Hawk, a Five for the Fight night, and a private concert in the Vivint Smart Home Arena starring The Killers. Taylor Jensen, a former data quality analyst at Qualtrics, shares why Qualtrics hosts this summit every year.
The Qualtrics X4 Summit is a large event that Qualtrics hosts to promote their business to other people, to bring together a lot of professionals in the same space and to basically inform as many people as possible what they're doing here at Qualtrics and what experience management really looks like.
The company helps more than 11,000 companies understand, improve, and master their customer, brand, employee, and product experience. The summit will take place March 10th through the 13th. Tickets are selling for $1,800. For more information on the summit, visit the Qualtrics website. This is Maren Smith reporting for Newsline in Provo.
BYU baseball is playing their home opener today. I'll tell you who they are playing and what giveaways there will be at the game next. And the Jazz are starting to turn things back around. Find out how their game against the Cavs went last night.
There's a lot of fear in coming back to school. I'm a 40-year-old man that walked in there to get his high school diploma. It was very hard for me, but one of the teachers was Miss Araceli. She gave me direction. Every single time I had a question, she'll put down whatever she's doing and she'll sit there with you until you get it. 50% of getting your high school diploma is walking through those doors. The other 50% is doing the work.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
BYU baseball will host UVU for their home opener today at Miller Field. The 6-6 Cougars are 52-8 in their home opener since 1960. They have also won the last 8 straight games against UVU, as well as 13 of the last 14 dating back to 2014. Tonight's game will start at 5 p.m. and the first 200 fans will receive a free t-shirt. $1 hot chocolate will also be available. BYU continues to lead the WCC with weekly awards, including BYU basketball Yoli Childs representing as WCC Player of the Week.
Childs will shoot the three and hit it.
The senior forward has 4 Career Player of the Week honors and has been a crucial part of BYU's success this season. Childs leads BYU in their regular season finale on Saturday with a career best 38 points, making him tied for the second most points scored by a WCC player this season. In other Player of the Week news, BYU softball player Riley Jensen McFarland earned the WCC Player of the Week for the second consecutive week. Over the weekend, Jensen McFarland led BYU at the Judy Gurman Classic, where the team went 4-1, including a win over number 25 Texas Tech. This is senior Jensen McFarland's 10th overall WCC Player of the Week award. The Jazz are beginning to turn things around after winning their second consecutive game.
At home.
The Jazz defeated the Cleveland Cavaliers 126-113 last night. Bojan Bogdanovic got back on track by leading the way with 28 points after having a stretch of disappointing performances. But Bogdanovic wasn't the only one to return to his normal self. Across the roster, each Jazz player brought back aspects of their game that helped the team during their previous winning hot streak. It was the beginning of a 4-game road trip, and the Jazz will take on the New York Knicks tomorrow evening. Tiger Woods has been nominated for the World Golf Hall of Fame class of 2021.
They may do it differently than anyone's ever seen it done before in the past.
Woods is among 10 finalists and turns 45 in December after the age criteria was recently lowered from 50 to 45. In order to be considered, male players must have at least 15 wins on approved tours. Woods has 82 PGA Tour and 41 European Tour wins, including 15 major titles. While speculation about the Olympic Games in Tokyo continue to rise amid coronavirus concerns, the International Olympic Committee has once again reaffirmed their commitment to hold the Games on schedule. While Japan's Olympics minister said that the country's contract with the IOC would allow it to suspend the Games, the IOC's executive board released a statement this morning expressing full commitment to the success of the Tokyo Olympics taking place as originally planned. While the IOC will follow advice from the World Health Organization, they are encouraging athletes to continue training for the Olympics as scheduled. That's all for sports. We'll be right back.
You can be the best, you can be the king, come banging on your chest. You can beat the world, you can beat the war. You could talk to God, go banging on his door. You can throw your hands up, you can beat the clock. You can move a mountain, you can break rocks. You can be a master, don't wait for luck. Dedicate yourself and you can find yourself. Stand in the Hall of Fame. Be politicians, be preachers, yeah, yeah. Be believers, be leaders, be astronauts, be champions. Standing in the Hall of Fame.
Two long-lost sisters meet each other for the first time after nearly 60 years apart.
Neither knew each other existed until a few weeks ago, but that all changed thanks to a DNA test. Gail Prznicki waited for this day for decades. She knew her mother had given up a baby for adoption, but she never had any luck finding her sister until this January, when she got a message from her sister, Carolyn Connery, who lives in Boston. They both spent many years trying to find each other, and now the two plan to spend the week catching up on a lifetime of memories. Thanks for joining us today for Newsline.
For more information on our stories or to share them with your friends, check out our website at universe.byu.edu/newsline.
Have a great day.